Weird is when they swallow. It's not a magic trick when you swallow a handful of Legos and you crap out an object that you made in your colon.
I made an X-Wing.
Welcome to the Board Game Snobs podcast. Critically harsh reviews with a touch of class.
And go.
What'd you say?
I said, and go.
I'm eating.
Oh my god!
I'm eating s'mores cereal.
Why do you you have not been eating up until we press record? And then you decide to start eating?
I have been. This is my third bowl.
Are you getting the s'mores from the Walmart that was recommended to us?
Yes, I did. I found them. I went to Walmart today and braved all the crackheads, and I bought myself. I thought, treat yourself. Treat yourself.
I didn't see you there.
I went to the other Walmart. I didn't go to the super center.
Do you know how gross it is to eat with your mouth and talk with your mouth open?
I'll eat away from the mic. This is the Board Game Snobs podcast. A podcast about board games and other things. And this is brought to you by Mailto Meal because we don't have a sponsor.
Are those cereals, are those like the cheap cereals, or are they just the bulk, like large quantity cereals?
Oh, this ain't cheap. This is actually 3 cereals in one. It's the big bag. Like you have the big bag full.
Bag-o oats?
Blocks. Yeah. So this one has the marshmallows are like a Lucky Charms. Then they have the chocolate, which is actually Cocoa Puffs. And then the actual graham cracker stuff is like that cinnamon crisp looking thing. Yeah.
Sounds like crack for children.
This is good. I'm shaking. I'm 3 bowls of these. Literally. I bet
Shake and bake, baby.
And I switched off of my decaf. I haven't told you about my health problems here recently.
No.
But anyways, I was on decaf for a good long time. And again.
So are you going to? Or is that what you're going to?
No. Well, I mean, I switched to decaf because of my health problems.
Because of your heart?
Yeah, my heart. And then they found out it's not so much my heart, but I have some sort of genetic kidney disease.
Oh, gosh.
And so there you go.
What about alcohol?
No. We're still good there.
About to say, our podcast about to go under if you stop drinking.
Oh, no, I can't do that. I'm doing this for the fans. But if I end up needing a kidney, we found
him face down on his keyboard podcasting.
You folks better, they just find me with my screen pulled up of animal groupings. What is a pack of walruses? What is a pack of walruses? That's a good question.
In the background, it's like the Joker laugh when instead of you hear zonka, 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 zonka. He died podcasting. He died doing what he loved.
A pack of walruses is called a huddle.
So I guess they called them. They thought them big old football players was about as big as walruses. So let's huddle together, boys.
Mike Ditka.
Waddle on up. Hey, speaking of interesting facts, we're recording this pretty late. We have one banked and that I have time to get to and edit. And by the way, your chewing cereal into the microphone doesn't help with my editing process because I'm trying to not have to edit this in too much.
Don't edit this out. This is quality banter.
And but today is September 2nd, 2020. Just in case people are listening to this in the far distant future in the year 3030. September 2nd, 1666. Do you know what happened?
1666?
Yeah.
Let's see. Is that when the British came over? No, I don't do history. That time of history.
London is burning.
Who did that?
80% of medieval London burns to the ground. 80%. 65,000 homeless people. 13,000 buildings made apparently of paper mache. made of cow turds and hay. I don't know.
What did they make buildings out of?
I don't know. Like wood, I guess. Wood and thatched roofing. And they said, of course, after this fire, they stopped all those products.
Perhaps we should use something a little more fire retardant. Yeah, that's The Great Fire of London, which is also a board game, which I've not played, but I hear is pretty interesting.
So I guess maybe that's where they got the phrase, this town is lit.
Too soon.
I wonder if there's any Londoners getting offended right now.
My great grandfather died in that fire.
It says they first blamed foreigners because, of course, London was at. Hey, guess what? They were at war with somebody, always fighting. Why are they so contentious? They were fighting with the French and the Dutch at the same time.
Oh, the Dutch! They set this fire.
So
and the Dutch were like, "We didn't start the fire. It was always burning since the world's been." Yeah. They did the East Indian Trading Company, where it's the Dutch, wasn't it?
I don't know, but
I think so.
I mean, apparently there was sadly, there was like actual violence to immigrants, not necessarily so. But then they pointed to the Catholics, saying the Catholics did it. Then some preachers pointed to the fact that London had a sweet tooth problem, a problem with gluttony. Because guess where the fire first broke out? And God was punishing London.
The cereal factory.
Pudding Lane. It broke out on a bakery on pudding, like whatever pudding they eat over there.
Like the meat pudding? Don't they eat like meat in their pudding?
Meat pudding.
Blood pudding.
Sure, just like sandwiches, meat pies. Everything has meat in it over there.
I'm pretty sure their puddings have meat in it.
Goat meat?
No, they don't have goats over there. They have sheep. They do mutton pudding.
But the preachers blamed it on gluttony and the sweet tooth of the Londoners. So God punished them.
You've had one too many cupcakes.
So a Catholic Dutchman walks into a bakery and somehow causes one of the greatest
This place is lit.
No, I don't believe any of that. I think it's just a fire. Fires happen.
They erected a statue of a gold boy who became known as the Fat Boy so that they would remember their gluttony issue.
We have those. They're those donut boys that stand out in front of the drive-thrus. Those big dough boys statues. Mm-hmm. Don't you remember those? What are those called?
Fat Boys?
It was Fat Boy, wasn't it?
Fat Boy Slim.
I think it was.
That's what they call me because I once was fat. Now I'm slim.
Brother. The Funk Soul Brother. Check it out now.
Another interesting fact, not related to September 2nd. Speaking of medieval times, like not the place where you go and, gnaw on a baby hen and watch people joust, which I've been to. And I paid way too much money.
Why?
It's not a cheap place. I went there when I was a younger man, probably in my mid-20s, and I love medieval things. And so I thought, let me go check out this place. It's supposed to be fun. You're supposed to you eat have you ever been there?
I've drove by it.
That's about all you need to do. You eat a Cornish game hen with your bare hands. They don't give you utensils because utensils didn't exist back in those days. They give you but apparently Dr. Pepper does.
Use your phalanges to consume this fowl. But would you like Diet Dr. Pepper? Here you go.
I never quite got that correlation there. It's like, we're either in all the way or we're not. Come on.
Where's my winch? Bring me another Pepsi.
They did. They called them winches. I don't know if they do now. That may not be.
I thought I was that's real sexist.
This was in the mid 2000s, so I don't know if they still do
we still
that.
had sexism
but
back then.
We've gotten rid of it now. Thank the good Lord.
We're good.
But back in the medieval ages, though, it existed.
You know what they call those? The Dark Ages, right? Because there were so many nights.
Bazinga. Zoinka, zoinka.
flow over you.
Zoinka, zoinka, zoinka. This is what they're going to... This. Now remember, this may be your last podcast, so make it count.
Oh, is that a threat?
To your heart.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. So,
but
kidneys.
I didn't...
Kidneys.
Oh, kid, you got to be kidding me.
No, it's that you've said that joke way too many times. It's not funny anymore. And now that I'm a kidney sufferer,
you and Enrique, brothers in arms.
No, he has one kidney. My kidneys are just genetically bad. So if something happens and both my kidneys shut down, I'm planning on just like sharing a kidney with Enrique, like two conjoined twins.
I don't know if that'll work.
It'll work. Trust me, I got it all figured out.
I've got one. I'll donate it to you if we're.
I don't want your kidney.
They're like, it comes out all bloated and super fatty.
Fatty kidney. I can't even hold it. I look like a humpback of Notre Dame. They put that kidney in me. I'm like 125 pounds. I got this big old 40-pound kidney on my back, Gobby's kidney, and all of a sudden I have an urge to go ahead and make dad jokes and weep softly as I watch those medieval shows you watch, where it's always like these people. What was that? Downton Abbey and all that stuff.
Oh no, I'm watching Victoria right now. But you got me off track. Did you know in medieval times, again, not the restaurant, they used plague-infested cadavers as ammunition for catapults, biological warfare?
You flung a cow over the wall, and then cat with the fiddle and the dead guy, peasants. So I'm over there. Throw some bodies over there.
What happened to Johnny? He died of the plague. Go get him.
He had the dysentery. Throw his dysenteric corpse over the wall. That'll teach those Dutch.
That was great. The Flying Dutchman.
Oh, that's what happened. He started the fire, and then they launched him into Yorkshire near Huddersfield, and he infested, and that's how the rat plague come about, all because of this happy Catholic Dutchman.
Because they had one too many cupcakes.
No, really, cupcakes are pretentious. I just don't like cupcakes. I've never
I don't
liked
either.
Cupcakes. Okay.
I mean, they're basically like finger food to me. It's like a bite size. Like,
they're baby cakes. They're baby cakes. Call them what they are. They're baby cakes.
I don't like
if I want a cake, I want a full cake. I don't want to have one bite-sized cake. You don't like cake?
I'll eat. Don't get me wrong. When I say I don't like cake, I mean it in the
Do you like a short skirt and a long jacket?
Maybe you did take my kidney.
I'm on fire. So is London. Go ahead.
And I learned a new word, TIL. You know what that means?
That's that group in the 90s. Left Eye. Who? No, it's TLC. Mm-hmm. Don't know. TIL?
TIL. Today I learned. It's a Reddit phrase.
What's the TILRD? What's TLRD? What's that? To talk later, really deep. I don't know. I see these Reddit terms.
Totally used. Rad, dude.
No, I don't know.
You watched Bill and Ted Faces the Music, didn't you?
I have not yet. Is it good?
Define good.
Well, I mean, did you enjoy it?
Contextually speaking, as opposed to most 20-plus year sequels, yeah, it's good. It's a Bill and Ted movie, and I enjoyed it. And it did have the same heart the originals do. The third act is the best part and the funniest.
Well, there you go.
But I didn't know. I didn't tell you what I learned today.
Oh, well, tell me. TIL.
There's a word, and apparently it's a new word. You know what pluvio means?
Pluvio?
Pluvio.
No, I thought you said something else.
Apparently it means rain.
It means rain? Like chocolate rain? Or just regular rain?
Regular rain.
Pluvio.
I'm a pluviophile, which is apparently a newer word, which means a lover of rain, someone who finds joy and peace of mind during rainy days.
So was Prince. He liked that purple rain.
I know.
Well, this is a podcast about board games. If you have anything you'd like to talk to us about, please email us at boardgamesnobs@gmail.com.
Or if you have an interesting fact that we have not yet discussed, or if you're also a reader of bestlife.com.
Okay. Well, what we were preparing for is that in 2 weeks, yes, 2 weeks upon you hearing this, we will be releasing the Snobbies, which is our board game award. And we have several categories that I wanted to discuss with Gabi to clarify what 10 categories we're going to have. Oh, and by the way, I just realized that when we're doing the Snobbies, when we're releasing that particular episode, do you know what? That will be our 3-year anniversary to the day of starting Board Game Snobs.
I've already ordered the roses.
Oh, thank you. We've been doing this for 3 years. Isn't that sad?
And look where we are now.
On the way to the top. Can't stop us.
Let me fire up my almost defunct computer, plug in my ratty microphone.
It's not ratty. That's a nice microphone.
Well, it's getting ratty. The paint's coming off. I gave you my other only good microphone, and
we're gonna do a Patreon. We're gonna do a Patreon because that will really help us in the middle of a plague, of a pandemic. We're going to start a Patreon because people also have money right now.
Yeah, of course. And I can't afford to buy games because
send that stimulus check straight to us.
I'm now an employee of Walmart.
Yeah, you drink that.
Hey, if you I'm part of the family. If you need some groceries, don't go inside and risk the plague. Order them rascals online. We'll bring it to your car. That's service the Walmart way.
Do they tip you? Have you been tipped doing that? Do they give you or
Walmart.com? Huh?
They don't tip you, do they? People.
Are you kidding us? Oh, actually, I'm not one of the people that goes outside. I collect the goods into the cart, the little buggy. When you go into Walmart and you see that guy that gets in your way with a massive buggy full of these blue tubs. Yeah, that's me. Then we take it to the back. They sort it. Then another set of employees actually take them out to the cars. It's two different jobs.
So you don't actually have to make contact with the public.
I mean, aside from the massive amount of people that are actually in the store crossing paths that completely ignore the the right of way that they tried to establish up and down the aisles.
Well, that's people for you.
There's a guy. People are so stupid. We're remodeling. Look, I'm in. I said we're.
The Waltons? The Waltons are remodeling?
I am Gobby Walton. This store is remodeling, and it's such a pain. They literally are moving things around constantly, and we don't know where we're going. They moved the soda pops. In Northeast Texas, Southeast Oklahoma, soda pop that's a big item. People are constantly looking for soda pop. This man literally has his back against the rack of soda pop, turns to me and says, "Where'd they move the soda pops?" I said, you mean like Coke and Dr. Pepper? Yeah. They're right behind you, sir. Oh, I'll be. They ignore. People don't look. They don't open their eyes. They don't read this. Every aisle tells you what's down that aisle. Look up. It tells you. This is where the salsa is. This is where spaghetti is. This is where you'll find Hispanic foods. This is where you'll find tomatoes. They have it labeled like that. Nobody looks. There's an aisle that says water. Everyone always asks me, "Where's your water?" Aisle 14, thanks. Sorry, I had to get that off my chest.
Well, I'm glad you did. I didn't want this to be something that really holds you down for the rest of the episode. And it's riveting. It's riveting podcasting. It's very nice. I'm sure the listeners really want to hear about the
Do they have Walmart? Walmart's all over the world, isn't it?
I did not see one in Europe. Like when I remember distinctly being in Poland and asking them about a Walmart, and they're like, "No, we have a Tesco," or something of that nature.
That's Polish for Walmart.
No, it wasn't Walmart. It was weird. It didn't have the same family-friendly feel. Probably the germs or the crackheads probably would, That's what I have around here. That's why, these small little Walmarts that still exist in southeastern Oklahoma that should be shut down.
Walmart requires you to wear house shoes when you walk in.
Oh, and pajamas. And please, excuse me, take that bra off. We don't have those here. There's
no matter how much you weigh, please wear the tightest tank tops you can. sir,
No.
or madam.
Hey, stop body shaming people. That's all. You're always making fun of
Hey,
people's
those are my
body
people.
types.
I can body shame my own
How
people.
dare you, sir? Can we stick to a topic before we alienate? So far, we've alienated Catholics, Dutch, and bakery owners. Now, from pretty much all of Oklahoma, we've upset over your spandex comments.
Oklahoma hasn't discovered podcasts yet, so we're good.
We still got that AM radio. If something ever happens to Rush Limbaugh, we're just completely.
Or the ticket.
Oh, I'll punch the ticket. Oh yeah, you gotta have that.
Wow, I haven't even thought of AM radio in a long. Is that like radio you just listen to in the morning? 11:59. No. I'm done.
No. That AM FM. Like I remember distinctly when I would get out of range of the college 91.9 FM radio, which was run by a bunch of college students that unfortunately at times when they found like a song they really like, they just played it over and over and over. And it would drive you insane.
Life is a highway. I'm going to ride it all night long.
Somebody up there, one of the kids really liked Uncle Cracker. And so I heard there's like only one decent Uncle Cracker song. They went deep tracks on Uncle Cracker, and it was awful. But no, any other channel that you could get was this AM frequency, and a lot of it was Rush Limbaugh. Like he was on there for like 4 hours every day.
Of course,
that was it. You either was listening to Rush or you were listening to 91.9. So the categories for our illustrious board game award ceremony. Of course, one of the categories is going to be the game of the year, the best game of 2019. I wanted to kind of discuss that with you beforehand, Gabi. So this is not, I don't think this should be a average of our fans and us saying this is the game that we like the most, because I know the game that I like the most because we did our podcast here recently on just that. But rather, it's the game that we feel is most accessible, but also, the generalized board gaming public would like to play this game. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So it's not so much like the Spiel des Jahres.
It's what we think most people would like, not necessarily what we like.
No, we like it too. I mean, for instance, on our top 10. Yeah, like on our top 10, I know my number one, spoiler alert, was Barrage. I'm having a hard time kicking around saying that Barrage would be the game of the year, mainly because there is some complexity with it, and there is some problems. There's some things about Barrage I don't necessarily like. Although it was my favorite, I don't know if I would just go out and say, everybody, this is out of one game that you must buy, this must be it. For me, it was number one. But I recognize that that's probably not the number one game for everybody.
Well, then, okay, just to go into this. So you had sent me several different categories. You had Game of the Year. Mm-hmm. Then you had Heavy Game.
Right. And I differentiated Heavy Game as being
3.4 BGG weight or more.
Correct. And light, filler, or family game, basically under 2.5 weight.
Well, yeah, okay. I got you. 2.5. This is my deal, though. I feel like if you're trying to make something more accessible to everyone else, it would basically fall into the family game category.
Well, not necessarily. I saw that's what I want to hash out.
So I think,
okay,
I'm just going to put it out there now. We just need to pick one that basically is was super high on both our lists that we agree. You know what? I can go with this game being Game of the Year because that's what would make it a snobby award.
Right. And that's what I mean. I don't think this game is obviously going to be a game that we both love. But both our number ones from 2019 don't mesh, and so it may end up being my number 3 and your number 2 is what we end up agreeing on. I can't even remember.
It's what do they call that? The median,
right? Yeah, that's what I'm looking for.
Well, median's what divides the two highways,
right? And life is a highway, and I drive it.
I can ride all night long.
Okay, so we have that category, and so thus, of course, the heavy game and the light family game that kind of differentiate between those. The 2-player category, the 5th category being the best artwork, and then we kind of go off into the weeds a little bit here. Number 6 being the overhyped game, the game that we felt was just terribly overhyped for what it gave its players. And then our number 7 category being the most overlooked game. And I was thinking about that, overlooked. I'm not sure if I'm working on that category. I'm trying to find games that I know that I played in 2019 that I thought were really good.
I was thinking about that, and I like the overlooked category because one of the things we have done is tout Barony, which we consider overlooked, which is ranked 1,118 on BGG.
Right.
So I would almost say, because I was thinking, how do you quantify something as overlooked? Well, the end-all be-all of most things is BGG. That's where people go to access information. I was thinking we could say anything over the ranking of 1,000 that we really like that came out that year could qualify, that we could agree on would be overlooked. Because clearly, I mean, it's past anything really past the 100. Most people don't even care about.
Right. And still, it could be a game that this game might not be something that came out in 2019. Although that's what I'm shooting for. But a game that maybe we just played in 2019. I thought about. I may give us some leeway with that overlooked, because by definition, we may have completely forgot about it in 2018. But yeah, that's what I'm currently researching all the games I've played in 2019 and finding their rankings.
Yeah.
And so, the 8th award, the coveted Beverly Hills Chihuahua 3 award, which is basically the crappy game that for some reason we like. So I already know what game I have in mind for this. It's a game that I played that I was the only one that apparently halfway liked it, but we won't talk about that now. But yeah, that particular award. The number 9 award is the Enrique. It's the game that Enrique loves for some reason, because every year there's some game that Enrique just is enthralled with and won't stop talking about. So we'll have Enrique
that he gets rabidly fanatic about.
Rabid is a good word. The fanatical choice, which is a game that our fans have raved about, even though we might not have played this game. So
I already know this one myself as well.
Yeah, there's several games that we keep. Every time we discuss games of 2019, we have a lot of our listeners send in a lot of the same games that we haven't gotten to play yet. But anyways, so those are the categories, those 10 categories. Game of the year, heavy game, light game, 2-player, best artwork, overhyped, overlooked, Beverly Hills Chihuahua 3, the Enrique, and the Fanatical. If you'd like to send in your nominations or you have thoughts on this, please send us an email at boardgamesnobs@gmail.com. The Snobbies are 2 weeks away, and we will be aggregating everybody's nominations and discussing them.
I was thinking of just award titles that are specific to us. I was thinking of the We Like to Have Fun Here award. Maybe party games?
That's like the light family game. We like to have fun here.
Okay, yeah, or light family game.
What would we call the heavy game?
That's a good bastard.
one. Oh, yes. The 2-player game. What would you call it? That's a good one.
We'll have to think about that.
Best artwork.
Like, what are things that we say or often discuss that apply to our podcast specifically, so that we can make these podcast awards unique to us? If you have any ideas on that, email us between now and 2 weeks from now.
Please do the work for us. I am shaking right now from all the sugar in my system. My hemoglobin A1C is through the roof right now. I know it. Hey, are you looking at our email right now? Can you pull up our email?
I'm looking at it.
Will you look down on a Mr. Let's see who sent us the email. Shannon Trainer. Can you read Shannon Trainer's? He sent you an email.
I could.
Read it.
Okay, here it is. Also, why was the nurse so careful with the metronidazole?
That's metronidazole.
It was flagell? I think these are cuss words.
That's a good joke. It's a nurse's joke. It's an antibiotic called Flagell. It sounds like fragile.
Meant for Jerry, but feel free to try and pronounce Gubby. Yeah, there you go. Oh, nurse
Good
humor.
one. Good one. There's
Look,
not a lot of...
We can talk about Walmart all day, but nobody cares about nurse humor.
Right. Well, you personal shoppers are the real heroes. I get up every morning. I put on my N95, my scrubs, and as I'm walking out the door, I say a silent prayer for my dear friend who's shopping.
I'm picking up your macaroni and cheese.
Actually, the risk of you getting the COVID is much higher, I feel.
Oh, it is. Like, social distancing does not exist. It's like we're in a concert. We're shoulder to shoulder. It's insane.
Welcome to the mosh pod. That's the mosh pit. I'm sorry, the mosh pit. I'm so cool. I've never been to a concert.
Where's the nearest mosh pod?
It sounds like that. Well, that's what it sounds that. Yeah, they don't have those at Mumford and Sons. Concerts.
No, there they catapult people over the band section.
Oh yes,
because they're English, aren't they?
Crowd surfing.
Are Mumford and Sons English? I may have just said that. They sound. They have that folksy sound like of.
They have that folksy English sound. I think that Mumford and Son are English, aren't they?
Let's see. British folk rock. Yeah, formed in London.
Oh,
Post-fire.
They started the fire. They started. Post fire. Oh.
Hey, why? So, like the English, British, whatever. I guess it's English specifically.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I wonder how the relations are with France, because like England and France were at war like throughout time.
Yeah, they did for a long time.
Are they good friends now?
I don't know. I'm poor on geography.
Dan, if you're listening.
Dan Hughes. Oh, yeah, we were on the Sporadically Bored podcast, which probably was the second time we did it, and it was the best time it was their best episode, bar none.
Their best episode.
Their best episode, and we were toning it down.
Also,
they had to edit out all my Dutch jokes. But none of my Catholic jokes. This is probably our best episode. I'm just going to say this is, and you know what's wrong? What's wrong with this is that this technically wasn't going to be an episode. This was us going to talk about what we were going to do for the Snobbies, and you wanted to record it. And so now we have about 40 minutes of us rambling about nothing that we should all cut out because half of it's offensive and the other half of it's not useful to the fans. And so if you were really wise, you wouldn't post this. I know you're desperate. I know we haven't recorded anything.
I don't have time to edit.
Okay. Well, then let's just stop. And on the next episode, we'll remind everybody about the Snobbies. And on the next episode, we'll talk about actual board games. Because the next episode, I've been playing On Mars.
This episode will never see the light of day.
I have deep thoughts on Mars. And you've been playing that Marvel game, Champions of Marvel.
On Marvel.
Marvel, yes. And you want to talk about that. So on the next episode, when we actually have time, we'll discuss board games. And so our fans will be pleased with us. Okay. And hopefully we'll still be listening because
this will be erased.
Heavily edit this, please.
Okay.
For the Dutch. Do not offend the Dutch. I like Dutch. I want to go to Bruges.
I like their shoes.
I like the shoes, the sabot. I like
sabotage.
I like.
It hurts me when sometimes we make jokes and nobody like emails us or something. We made some good sabotage jokes in reference to Star Trek. Nobody said anything.
Nobody. That's our award for the most overlooked game, the Sabotage.
How about most overlooked podcasts, we just award ourselves an award every freaking year.
Not sure about that. There are some good podcasts out there that are also overlooked, like the Gamecasters. I like the Gamecasters.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, I joined we got to talk about this. I may have had us join a network. Not that one not the Dice Tower.
Thank you, Tom.
Another one. No, not Tom. Tom wouldn't let us
no?
in. No, he
Is he Catholic?
I don't know. He might be Dutch. I thought he was Dutch. The hats, give it away. The hats start coming.
The shoes, you can hear them coming. Clip, clop, clip, clop.
Yeah, here's the thing, and this is I've always thought this. Tom's 5'8". He only looks tall because of those thick wooden shoes that he insists on wearing. Okay, I've met him in person.
He's the Tom Cruise of YouTube.
Yeah, he's not.
He's always wearing lifts.
But no, Tom wouldn't let us on his network. So Ryan, I think his name is Ryan. Yeah, Ryan of the Gamecasters podcast, which our fans probably don't listen to, but you should. It's a very pleasant podcast, and they actually talk about board games. And Ryan is a rapper by trade, or a SoundCloud rapper, I think, because he's always rapping on the podcast. It's very interesting. They talk about board games, and he has created a network of little unknown podcasts, and he wanted our podcast to be a part of it so that we can kind of
flagship.
The flagship to kind of let people know.
The USS Enterprise of the network nobody's ever heard of.
Yes, and so this network is designed to help little podcasts that don't have the base
You're welcome.
that we have, and to kind of prop them up and to support them. And if
support each other.
There's one thing we're known for, it's charity. The Gateway Network, which is going to be a website, I think, and I think it's on Instagram, and it's going to be like a bunch of different podcast related stuff, and you'll like it, I think.
So if you get contact, if you're a smaller podcast or Instagram or anything board game related content, and you hear from the Gateway Network, Ryan, Natalie, Jeff.
I like Jeff.
They're good folks trying to help
Well, we don't know that. I've tried to look them up. I tried to do some background research before I got us involved with them, and they could be felons. I don't know.
Okay. Well, they appear to be good folks.
So that's Natalie, and apparently her and Ryan, I think she's the backup for the SoundCloud rapper Ryan. I don't know what Jeff does. I think he might be unemployed.
He's a teacher, actually.
Is he? What does he teach?
I can't remember.
No,
maybe you should listen to one of their episodes. I'm sure you would learn more.
I listened to the one. They asked. It seemed all right. I'll listen to an episode.
I contacted Ryan about doing crossover podcasts, and then he sends apparently an email about networking, and Jerry just says yes.
I'm a businessman. If you use words like networking and synergy and collaboration, I start frothing. Yes, I want to network, and I didn't realize that what all that entailed. Like we were going to have to actually say nice things about the other people in the network, and so that's the thing. We're trying to start we're not starting a network. We're part of a network to help these other small podcasts out. And so if you get a chance, you might try listening to the Gamecasters. I'm sure they would appreciate it because they need a few people to listen to.
Fabulous job. Worth the money.
Oh, yes. Yes. They're paying us too. Pretty sure they are.
I hope so. We need to get the Patreon going.
Get that Patreon up. I need a kidney.
All right. That's going to do it for this episode.
This is not an episode. You're deleting this.
You've rambled enough.
No, delete this.
All right. Well, let me get started deleting.
I should have drank. This is wrong. I should have drank.
Thank you for listening to the Board Game Snobs. Stay classy.